Hello, everyone. Let's see here. I think people should hear me. Elizabeth, I see you. Can you give me a thumbs up if you can hear me? Ah, nice. Okay. Omen's got, oh, whoa, it shows up on the screen. That was cool.
Sorry, I'm admitting people as fast as I can here.
Yeah, we're letting everyone in slowly. There's a bunch of people joining. Um, thanks for coming to the webinar. We're so excited to have everyone. Hannah is in Newport.
Hmm.
And Thomas is in Lake Tahoe, and so you're stuck with me today. But um was probably gonna be me on this one anyway, so it kind of worked out. And there's Noah popping in behind on Aiden's video. Let's see who we got here. We're gonna give everyone a few minutes to jump on in. Um,
Sorry, I'm admitting as many people as I can.
okay. Well, we're really excited today for forms. It's also fun to see a lot of people in a webinar that we have to go hit admit this many
This many
times.
times it's crazy.
It's
I'm gonna have carpal tunnel by the end of this.
our very first, it's fun. Our very first webinars we ever did were for Slant. We're at the very start, and I don't know if Rob's in this meeting. Is Rob or Lori here?
Haven't seen him yet.
Oh. Um, we had an early customer named Rob, and he was like one of our beta users. And I think probably our first 5 weeks of webinar were actually just one-on-one office hours with us and Rob. And it was like second webinar, and we had an initial beta group of like 4 users. And I remember the second webinar, he was the only one, and he asked us like towards the end, we did like office hours like Q&A, and he told us like, "Hey, I can't save someone's birthday." And we're like, "Yeah, you probably should." Um, and then at the end, he's like, "So guys, I appreciate the time. How many people actually are using this tool?" And we were like, "Yeah, Rob, there's only 4 of you." So that's probably why we don't have birthday saved yet, but it was fun. And so it's fun to see a few more people we got. Wow, 122 people in this. So this should be very exciting. So thank you all for being customers. I'm going to jump in here. I'm going to give a little bit of the agenda here is I'm going to give a little bit of background on forms and how we got to where we are. I'm going to then show a couple of features that lead into forms. We're going to show you a form. Noah's going to walk through the process of receiving a form. We're then going to go through editing and making forms. Forms go live today at 10:30 Mountain. And so we have it scheduled. We didn't want to, yeah. So like, hopefully we're done showing everything and can field Q&A at that point. But um, if we had 120 people all chatting forms at the same time on a webinar, we didn't really love the feel of that. And so we are kind of releasing it at the end. So, um, awesome. I'm going to jump in. I'll share my screen and we will be chatting. So everyone can see my screen. Forms has been a really fun project. Forms actually was a project that we built out what we called questionnaires in PagePort, our other tool, like 2 years ago. And there just always were issues. Like form builders are really hard to use. We felt like the experience was never awesome. And so there's always reasons not to release it. It was fully functioning and worked. It was just like it didn't quite feel like it was it. And then we started doing this form project. And initially it started actually as we built the initial version and it felt magical. And we thought a lot like, how do we let the whole world experience this, not just our Slant users? Like, could we use this as like a lower barrier to entry product than CRM and get people in the funnel and kind of experience forms, and then could we expand from there? And so we were going to call that Corner for a minute, and it was going to be an upsell to Slant customers, and anyone could sign up, and that was kind of the vision of Corner. corner was going to be forms and like pretty deliverables and PDFs. And then we decided that we didn't love that and we love all of our users and we'd rather just include everything in Slant and make Slant more and more of the biggest no-brainer it can be. So we're just trying to provide as much value. So we built forms in this and we're including it for free in everyone's account. And so it's just there's no additional upcharge. It's just the new feature in Slant. And so we're really excited about it. I'm going to jump into two things first that kind of led to forms. First is I don't know if everyone has seen Brand Kit. And so Brand Kit is kind of the bones behind pretty deliverables and forms. And so what we did is we scraped your website and I kind of edited my chat here to look kind of cool, like old Anthropic vibes, but old Anthropic, they're only 3 years old as a company, but they have kind of rebranded away from the orange a little bit. And so Brand Kit tells how you say things on your company. And so it'll say like your common words, your common vocab. We say relationship CRM and financial advisors and SOC 2 compliant and things like that. And then it has your colors and your fonts. And then you can edit it with chat. And so this was me. It brought this in and I said like make it look like Daylight Computer, which is a something Claude told me to do. So anyway, this is what our branding looks like. So that was kind of part of the background, the backbones of forms. And yeah, did someone say something? I'm just gonna keep going. The other one here is we've been asked for this for a while. This is new this week. This is scheduling integration. And so we now integrate right now with Calendly or OneHub. So you'll just integrate, it'll show all your event types. You can also add the feature to create a record every time someone books a meeting from that event type. And so for this, anytime anyone books my 15-minute meeting, if they're not in the CRM, then it's going to create a record for a prospect automatically. So people don't have to do the big the big whole automation, read email, parse email, whole workaround that we had. And the fun thing with that is it'll still pull all that data. So if it has like additional fields in the description, it'll be smart enough to pull them in. So those are kind of the two backbone things, but we're going to jump into intake forms now. And so in about 22 minutes, everyone should have intake forms here on this sidebar. It has a little beta tag on it. And this is what intake forms are. And so we worked really hard on 6 default templates that are really good. I would encourage, we'll go through this later, but I'll encourage people to start with the templates. They're great. And we're going to walk through the flow. And so we have your branding in here. And so for every template, except risk tolerance and event RSVP, those are a little bit more like bespoke. Every one of these templates will have different layouts that you can choose from. And so this is what we call our signature layout. I really need to hide all these faces. Sorry, everyone. Signature layout is multiple sections. You can click through, go to different sections. We have all the different fields here. And so this one we have contemporary is like more of like one section per page. Traditional is one big scrolling form, but that still has like a table of contents here. And then conversational is if anyone's used Typeform, it's very similar to Typeform. For a form this long, it's really not going to be awesome, but for shorter forms, it's really good. And so those are the different options. I'm going to go ahead and start here by creating a form. And I'll just go here and hit continue. So once you hit continue, now there's just chat to edit and you can edit anything you want. We're going to dive into this later. And so for now, I'm just going to publish the form. And so now your form is published. There are two options. You can send it to a client or prospect, or you can share a public link. By default, we don't have a public link on the form. Like a client intake, we think most of the time you're already going to have their information in it. And so you just send it to a client or prospect. I'm going to search here for Noah, who has a bunch of emails here, but here's Noah and his spouse Scooby. because Noah tests everything with the Scooby-Doo account. When you send an invitation to a form, we have two options to send it. And these are ones that are linked to a person. You can always, if it's a public form, you can just send them the link and it won't pre-fill their information, but they can fill out the form. We let you send from our email or from your own email. We recommend actually sending from our email. The benefit of that is that we can give automated reminders. It's sometimes nice to like have someone else to be the bad guy to like remind your clients over and over to fill out a form. And so we're going to do that. And then on this page, this will show what the emails look like. And so this is what will be sent. This is a big slant logo. That's because my branding is the slant logo. This would be your logo. This would say your company name. It would be your company color. This email will look like it comes from you. You can send it to anyone in the household. So we're just going to send it to Noah for now because that's not a real email. And then you can include yourself, the sender, as nothing BCC or CC. The other option we have is reminders. And so this is going to say, I'm going to remind Noah every 3 days. So every 3 business days, I'm going to send him a reminder with a maximum of 3. And the reminder email looks like, Zoom everywhere. Okay, I can't even get rid of that. So, oh, there we go. Here's a reminder email. This is a friendly reminder. This is not customizable. These are like default emails that we've built. If you do connected email, then you can just send it to them and it will just send like, this is the email editor. And so it has your signature in it. That's my signature. This is all customizable. So I'm going to go ahead and send this to Noah here. And then I'm going to have Noah take over for a little bit and walk through the flow. And so I'm going to send this invitation. You can now see the invitations created. We are sending the invitation. And so it'll take a few seconds. I don't know if you have it yet, but there we go. So it's sent to him. I guess I refreshed my page and now it's kind of slow. And so I'm going to turn it over to Noah here and see if he can walk through it. So you can see here, here's the link. Noah will show you this, but he's going to take over. You want to just take over on this? Or you want to take over on yours? Okay. I'm going to stop sharing and Noah's going to share. Okay, and I'm going to mute myself and look at the chat.
All right. So I'm going to share my screen, and here's what the email looks like that I just received. And let's do it. So now I got to send the code to myself. I need to pull it up on my phone.
You want to wait while we do it, or? Yeah, I got 90% available.
And here we go. So I built these forms, as from like a financial advisor perspective to kind of just be the full intake of all the information you could possibly need from a client, to kind of do that preliminary plan for them and kind of get the onboarding process going. So you can see name, date of birth, social security number, marital status, your address. That's all kind of on the About You page. And then we'll hit continue and get to the, I guess I have to put an address in.
Let's
see if it, yeah, so it's autofilling my information from what Max had sent. It knows that I'm a contact in his Slant account. And there's this, I'll just put the Slant address in. And then it's going to ask me, do I have a spouse or partner? If I do have a spouse, it's going to be conditionally smart enough to know to ask about them, and the same information that it just asked about you, you're going to put that into the form. If you say you have children, like we want to know, who they are, their date of birth, are they dependent? And then, you have an other dependent area too. So if you have non-children dependents, if it's a, family member who's a dependent on you, who's disabled, then you can have that information collected as well. The next page is the work and income, right? We're going to have your employment status. If you do have a job, right, we want to know where you're working, what your job title is, what your income looks like. If you do have any of these expected, income sources later on in your life, like Social Security, then we'd want to know what your estimated benefit is. We're going to ask for an uploaded statement there. Same thing for pensions, same thing for inheritance. On the inheritance section here, We have a how likely is the inheritance to actually come in. So if we remove those, we'll just see that there. Estimated. Oh, where did it go? Well, we'll put that back in there. But then same thing for the spouse and job title there. Um, oh, here it is at the bottom. So Max will show you later on how to edit this PDF and move things around, but you have the confidence rating of that inheritance income. So if you're very confident you're going to get that, I want to know that that's going to be included in the plan. If it's not very confident, we won't include that in the financial assessment there. All right, and now I have to put in numbers for the required fields, and you can make whatever field you want, required or not. It's all codable, whatever you want. On the financial picture page, I want to know if they're a renter or a homeowner. If it does, if they do own a home, right, I want to know how much is the home worth, when did they purchase it, what is the cost basis. If they do have a mortgage, then I want to know the information from that mortgage, balance, principal and interest rate. I want to get that mortgage statement if they are willing to provide it. Same thing for spending, right? So what is your current household spending? If you're tracking it, I want to know what it is, and if they have a budgeting statement. A lot of times clients have their own spreadsheets. I'm sure a lot of people have seen crazy spreadsheets from clients, and they are some of them are good and some of them are awful, but you might want to collect that information. Then we're going to get into the other investment pieces. So all the fixed income, cash, checking, savings that would go there. 2 minutes. Okay, I'll go quicker. The investment accounts. Do you have children? Do you have an inherited account? So type of the inherited account, we want the name of the deceased, the date of birth of them, the date of death. That way we can, model out RMDs if that comes into play. On the next page, we have the tax picture. Oh, I guess I have to put all these required fields in. I'm going to say no to that. Tax, basically just upload your current tax return if you have filed it, and the filing status. And if there's any concerns or questions we should know about, to your tax picture. Same thing for estate, upload your wills, trust, power of attorneys. All those can go here. If you have them, you can select which ones you have and then just upload them there. Insurance coverage, very simple, but, just kind of what are the insurance coverages that a client might have, and upload, and, any questions, concerns they have in there for that. And then getting into goal planning and priority planning. Why are they coming to work with you? You want to know that information.
Upload at least one document.
Yep.
So that we can just show.
Let's go back to insurance, and then
Just so we can show them how that works. Oh, nice drag. That was sick.
thank you. My goal is retirement planning, and then any final details that you might want to have your client share with you, like why did they hear about your firm? You can choose that, whether it's a referral, online search, and then just any general information that they want to share with you, so that way you can build the plan around the client. Then I'm going to submit this, and I love Slant. Let's see what that comes up when Max pulls it up.
It worked? Sweet. Okay, I'm going to take back over.
Unmute. Share. Okay, I'm taking back. So here we are. Thank you, Noah. That was one of our templates. Noah helped us. Noah's our advisor in residence for everyone who doesn't know Noah. So Noah is a financial advisor. He was working at a firm of one of our customers, and we hired him for the summer and hopefully longer. But he helped build all the templates, so they should be built with advisors in mind. So now we have this submission. And so I will get an email when someone submits a form. I'll also get a notification up here that says I have an invitation ready to submit. And so since this is tied to his client record, we don't let the client immediately update their own CRM record. We think there should be an approval step in between. And so that's here on this submissions tab. You can see that now we have this submission. And so this has all of Noah's information that he put in the form. You can come review it. You can see all the fields he didn't answer. You can search for fields. A lot of time people at the end of forms too will have a consent box that technically is binding as a signature, and some people like using that. To do that, you have to have the IP address and the device information of when they hit submit on the form. So we save all of that for you as well. And then there's this big button to accept submission. When you accept submission, it's going to be smart enough to go through all of the things that he put into the form and just find the things that changed from what I have in the CRM to what he put in the form. So I didn't have his primary address. I want to add that. I can also clear it so we don't update it, but I'm going to update it. Important information. He loves Slant. And so, and then this is for linking to a folder. I don't have a folder for Noah right now linked in his thing, but I do have Google Drive connected. And so I'm going to do create a new folder, and it's going to automatically create a new folder, or I can choose an existing folder. It will pull open my Drive picker, and sure, I'll choose this as my selected folder. And so now it's going to his existing folder. I'm going to hit apply these 3 fields. That marks the form submission as accepted, and his contact information should have been updated. So if I come here to his address, it's now updated. And then if I come here into his Drive file, you can see that we need to maybe work on renaming these, but it came in as intake form with a couple of nasty things. So this is, there's bound to be something that's not perfect, and it was that. And so there is our not perfectness. We will fix that very quickly. But then on his record, you can also see his intake forms. You can see his submission is here. You can click and come back to it. And that's how the submission flow works. And so you can go into the form. The form will show you the details of it. You can go edit it again. And so that's how the flow of the forms work. So you make a form, you send it to a client. You can also just, if you turn the public link on, you just have the public link. This will be our URL, but we will put your branding in the tab. If you like text it to someone, then it will have the preview. So I think it's like Twitter image preview URL thing. This is like how things show up in previews when you text them to people. And so this would be your logo. It would be your company name in the preview text. And so we try to be smart about making these shareable and readable by things like that and get your branding, even though it does have our URL. And so that's the form. We're now going to jump into, and I did just message the devs. We're pushing the release 10 minutes. So everyone will get it at 10:40 because I just want to go through creating forms. And so creating and editing. And so we already added the client intake form. I'm just going to quickly show the rest of these. This is a client annual reviews update. And the cool thing about this form is there is a scheduling event. And so if I get to choose, if I have a calendar, if I have a scheduling integration connected, I can choose which link I want, and it will actually automatically be here. I'll show it to you when we get to that point, but we'll go to traditional, and I'm going to install that. I'm going to go back here and show you risk tolerance. So this is a risk tolerance questionnaire that we made. It's John Grable and Ruth Litton. They published one. It's on Kitsis's website. We copied it. And so this is what it looks like. You click through, it builds it. This is one of them where you can't choose a template. Also, these are all like quick little shortcuts. And then at the end of it, it'll tell you your risk score. It will show you like where it is in the risk thing and a rubric for what the numbers mean. And so you could make this to be anything. I know a lot of people use like Riskalyze. We are legally not allowed to copy their form exactly. And so you can ask chat to do it maybe, but I didn't tell you that. We're going to use this template. And then some other ones that are fun. If I go back here to new form, we have a secure doc collection is just asking for docs, and it'll upload to their drive. Prospect discovery is back another one that has forms. So we'll do a contemporary layout on this one. And then I'll go back and show you event RSVP is like this looking thing. And I say the name like Slant Dinner. It's at, I don't know, Whatever. I'm not going to show you. It's cool though, because it can be this one.
Show 'em.
Oh, gosh.
Put in
okay.
Blackwater in Sandy, Utah.
Slackwater Pizza in Sandy, Utah.
7 p.m., 7:31.
Okay, yeah. 0731, 7 p.m. Host Max Metcalf. And so this will kind of show that it's gonna pre-film and then I can use that template. Cool. We're gonna go into editing because this is really the fun part of forms. So to edit a form, I'm gonna go back to intake forms and we're gonna go to that client form that Noah went through. And so if I go to this edit page, I can edit anything you want in this form. And so we're trying to release vibe coding to the world. Well, to the world of of financial advisors who use Slant. So that's a fun world. But like I can say here, like, remove the middle name field. And it's just gonna go and do it. I can say, great, now it's gone. I can say,
There's been a lot of questions about required fields.
yeah, sure. Make phone number no longer required. So now it's going to go through and it's going to update the phone number to not be required anymore. And so it kind of re-renders. Now phone is not required. I'm going to say I don't do estate planning. Get rid of that section entirely. It's going to be able to go through and just get rid of that section entirely. And so it's going to go edit. Depending on the query, sometimes they take longer or less long. Boom. And so that worked for 16 seconds. You can see that that section's gone. And so this is really fun. We're really excited for people to play with this. There's also, you can preview it on mobile or desktop. And so this is a very fun thing. If I want to say like, I don't actually want to use my brand colors, make it all shades of blue. Like it should be able to go through and make changes like that. If I want to say like YouTube Rickroll video, here we go.
We're one of the only social media agencies.
Thank you. So now it's all blue. If I want to say on the final details page section, I want you to embed this YouTube video. I can queue that up, so it's going to go as soon as its next turn is done. And so now on this page, it's going to embed a YouTube video. And so there it is. And so now I have a Rickroll video on this form. And so really you can do pretty much anything you want, which is awesome. I can publish that. It's going to publish. It will not publish for people that you've already sent the invitation to. When you send an invitation, we're giving them a snapshot of the form at that point in time. And then if you update the form, then you could go and like invalidate their invitation, but that's how that works. And so that's the form. We're going to do another one here. I'm going to do the risk assessment. So I can come here into the risk assessment. I can edit this form. I can say like, get rid of the TV game show question, and adjust the risk scoring formula accordingly. And so now this is going to go through and do that. I'm actually going to be multitasking here. We're going hard at demo mode now. This prospect discovery form, this is a very fun form because it has the, so I can show you what this looks like on the scheduling. The scheduling thing that we included, it does not embed Calendly. This is why we wanted an API connection. It makes it custom built and prettier. We already have their name and their email and their phone number at this point. We don't need a new embed that makes them put it again. And so they can, it shows more days. They can say this, they can choose their day. This is actually pulling from the Calendly availability. And then when they hit submit, they'll get an email with the Calendly as if they did it in Calendly. And the benefit of that is that Calendly's really good at delivering emails and getting things on people's calendar, and they don't go to spam. And so we built that. We didn't want to rebuild all that because everything was going to go to spam. And so now we just integrate. Calendly only costs $10. And so we think everyone should get a scheduling tool so it handles all the hard stuff and your form can handle all the easy stuff. But say I don't want it to be like this is my legit Calendly is like this far forward in the future. But let's say like edit the scheduling component to only show events in the next 7 days as options. This is going to come through here. It's going to be smart enough to know what I talked about. It's going to refresh this. If I go to this page and say show more days, it's cut off to only be next 7 days. And so that's pretty magical. We try to only show the simplest, so we show 5 options on each and then have a show more button. We put a lot of thought into the best way to get a calendar to be set up. So we're stoked on that. Try again. That didn't work for some reason. Okay, a very important thing. We are doing this. This is in beta. And so we've tried to, yeah, it's just failing on that. That's funny. I don't know why that is. But once this responds, like building a vibe coding form editor is a hard thing, and we've spent a lot of time testing this, but we can't possibly test every edge case. And so there is this button, share feedback. Anytime you guys get anything that you want to share feedback, we would really, really appreciate it. This goes directly into our Slack. It pings our entire engineering team. We all see it. And so that's forms. A couple other things. I plan way too much stuff to talk about always. That's cool, Max. Creating a new form's awesome. What if I want to just create one from chat? Oh, you can do that too. So here are some chat things that I got. Here's a form. I'm going to say create a very simple prospect intake form. I don't want to use your thing. 1 page. And so this is going to work on my form. If I come back to this, I had chat build me the fields in an intake form. And so if I come here to intake forms, and go to new form, and I say this is create a financial advisor client intake form with these fields and sections. I just had chat make this. To be honest, I haven't even read what it is. So, but now if I go back to this is designing the form. So here is a contact form that it made for them. I can say like the spacing on the fields is way too big, make it tighter. And then it's going to edit that. On this intake form, there was a little more to it, so it could take a little bit longer. I'm going to drink some Diet Coke.
That's how things get done around here is caffeine.
So then it gave me that. It built this exactly the way I said. In this case, it's a multi-section. If you ever prompt it for a multi-section form, it's going to automatically let you choose the layout. And so I'm going to choose traditional layout. And there we go. There was my prompt. There's the layout I chose. Here's the form. And so that's awesome. Okay, a couple other things. Wait, Max, I already have forms. I don't want to have to do this all. Okay, then let's attach a PDF. And so here's the PDF attachment tool. This is a Jot form that I downloaded as a PDF. Recreate the form from this PDF. Okay, a lot of people use Precise FP. So I can log into Precise FP. Precise FP makes it really, really hard to download a form. And so we know that a lot of people are coming from Precise FP. Oh, come on, 1Password. Do your thing. Of course, on the webinar, I have to do my password. I have to do once every 30 days. That is so funny. Come on. Okay. I guess this doesn't like me at all. I wanted to show this. We'll do this. Okay, Max Megav. Okay, we have a special way to do precise FP forms. If you use one of the default template fact finders, I would strongly encourage you to start with one of our templates and not import from precise FP. And I don't know if I can say that loudly enough. I think the templates are generally really hard to use. And so anyway, I have this estate planning thing. What you're going to do in Precise FP to import this is you're going to make a new account and you're going to do precisefp@mail.slant.app. This will let you send us any form from Precise FP. And so if I come here and I wanted to do the estate planning fact finder, all we need you to do is go to this and do email only and send immediately. This is going to send to our server. We have an agent that's going to go and do all the 2FA from this email so it can access all the forms and figure out all the conditional logic. And it should just import it into your account. So that's pretty cool. Here's the PDF form. It imported it perfectly. And so there you are. It split it into sections. I could do this. And so that's how to do importing of forms. That's it. That's what we got. This form from Precise FP is going to pop in here at some point. Wow, maybe it already did. Is this that fast? Okay, that's really cool. Yep, here it is from Precise FP. So I emailed this to it. This is everything that was in the Precise FP form that was there, including all of the crazy amounts of text, which is, here we are. So anyway, that's that. It's I copied it. It is this. And so anyway, that's that. I'm gonna pass it off to Hayden for a little bit to talk about a fun little marketing thing. The deploy to get everyone access to this is going out right now. And so you should see it. That's form building. We're very, very, very excited. It's been a very fun project for us engineers to work on. We love using AI to build stuff. That's our whole business. That's why we're here. And so it's fun to have the vision of releasing it to everyone else. So I'm going to turn it over to Hayden.
Cool.
You want me to stop sharing?
Yeah, and I'll throw
Okay.
up my screen. That's it coming from Max. How funny is that? It's like, yeah, I don't know. We ship some different things this month. Max has had smoke coming off his computer for the last couple of weeks. This webinar has been super fun for us. Like Max mentioned at the beginning of this used to be like me and Hannah and one or two other people. It was like practically just one-on-one, office hours for folks. And to see over 150 people in this today is just amazing. We're so grateful for you all. We want to get this into as many hands as possible. And so we'd love to share a little incentive with you today. So to help share the love, we find that the most successful ways that people hear about Slant is from other advisors. So if you're willing, we'd love to have you share your experience on social media. That could be on Reddit, on RCFP, on the XYPN Facebook group, on LinkedIn, or wherever else you hang out with other advisors. If you do that, we'll send you $50. That can be either a statement credit or a gift card. And even cooler, we'll send you some exclusive Slant merch. So we'll send you, I don't know if you can see this. I can't see myself right now.
See it, yeah.
We'll send you a Relationships Matter t-shirt or a hat in the mail. So we'd love to have you do that. Just help get this in as many hands of other advisors. We really are so grateful to get to work with you all. And we love shipping new products that help you all make your businesses better. So that's all I have prepared. Anything else, Max, before we any other questions in the chat?
No, I'm kind of trying to scroll the chat right now.
The
so,
chat was buzzing.
We'll
Busy.
see. It's a little bit tough to scroll through, but we're really excited. And the best way to get a hold of us on this specifically, for the next little bit, we don't give the feedback thing in chat normally because it's hard to do it with you guys are chatting about client information. We don't want that to go outside of systems to go wherever. But the nice thing of forms is there's no sensitive client information in forms. And so you can just do the feedback and it'll go straight to our Slack. So please give all feedback that goes directly to engineers. What? Oh, one of us needs to mute. Sorry, I'm talking double probably.
Sorry.
But it goes straight to us engineers. We want all the feedback. We're trying to make this amazing. And so thank you all so much. I'll keep looking at the chat for questions. Yeah, it looks like a lot of the questions. Oh, Brian asked about secure form. That is why we host the form on our slant.app URL. It uses the same security. We add the additional email 2FA. Even if we send it to their email, we make them read 2FA in the email. We didn't demo social security fields. They're automatically obfuscated. So after they type them, they just become X's, except for the last four. We store those the same way we store socials in the app, which is actually separate from the client record, which is why if you've ever noticed that in chat, you have to hit show. That's because that's a separate whole request that we don't want passing over payloads. And so that's a benefit of this is we really we thought a lot about security and how to make this awesome. It's also like our vibe coding environment. It's pretty locked down. You can't add it can't write JavaScript. It can't add new JavaScript libraries. Like there's a lot of vulnerabilities in vibe coding tools that give it a lot of freedom. And we kind of took those away and built our own freedom in it. And so, yeah, that's a great question. On the scheduling tools, Zoom Scheduler and Cal.com are going to be our initial follow-ups. Google Calendar link and the Google Calendar scheduler and the Microsoft Booking Scheduler doesn't let us do it on API. And so we can't do those two, but we can do everything else. On the risk tolerance form, there is a new field on a person that is a risk tolerance field, and it will automatically fill that out. So that doesn't have to be a custom field. That's a native field. We are working on adding forms to automations. That is not out yet. And so then you could say, like, when a prospect becomes a client, send them this form. We're working on adding that step. That's not there yet. Someone asked about G reminders. We probably will not be building an integration to G reminders. We have talked to them. They kind of like compete with us on a lot of fronts, so I don't think that'll happen, but Calendly's way cheaper. Yeah, I think that is a lot of these questions.
Is there a downside to linking Calendly?
Is there a downside to linking Calendly?
That's a question in the chat.
No, I don't think so.
Sorry, random question.
I think it's only upside.
It's all gravy.
Yeah. And if you link Calendly, then it's nice because like when you have the calendar link in book chat. I mean, in your book settings, that's still there. But if you link Calendly, then chat should be smart enough to know about all of your calendar events at that point and send that. So, there will not be, Donovan asked about embed ability. We're not, for security, we have a hard time wanting to let people embed a vibe coded form on their website. And so it will always be link out, not embeddable. Can they, on DocuSign, it'd be cool. We need to think a lot more about that to make that good. But it'd be cool to add a signature field. We have had feedback from advisors that the checkbox of the consent checkbox is actually, I am not a lawyer, so I'm not going to finish that statement. But Right Capital, we want to have very badly. If you've requested Right Capital integration, you've probably gotten my pop-up that makes you email their support. We've sent them 160 emails through that to request our integration. and there we have a person we talk to. It's just slow. So, um, yeah. All right. That's it, I think. Let's see if there's any other questions. This should be live in everyone's accounts now, I think.
It's live.
So go play with it. Give us tons of feedback. We want to make it great. Share your forms of what you've made. We want to see them. It's fun for the team to um oh, Jack Blake had need to build your own slant reminder system, assigning task reminders to clients. Like, wouldn't it be cool to vibe code your own portal that you could assign tasks to and give reminders? And man, that would be cool if only you could vibe code. Yeah, we're thinking about that really hard. I think there's been help, there's good things and hard things on that, but we think that'd be really cool to have like the consistent link your client can log into that you get to vibe code and control what it's on, and it could show like the tasks you've assigned to them and your meetings that you've shared with them and things like that on their portal and links out to their different softwares that they use. It's not going to be like a full Right Capital portal where they can go do planning, but I think it'd be a cool thing. So, yeah. Let's see if there's anything else.
Getting a slant tattoo.
I'm in on the slant tattoo. There's
Yeah,
some
yeah.
chatter on
Get a
altruist.
slant
People have
tattoo,
probably
get an extra
seen from
shirt.
the people have probably seen
We really shell out for slant tattoos. Thomas is trying to talk, I think. Oh, sorry,
Just-
Thomas.
You're good. There's a good amount of chatter about altruist. Some of you have probably heard from their team if you upvoted that they're actively getting us data files for a couple test people and should be soon. So I know it's a big contingency here. So again, like Hayden said, a lot of fun news today. This chat is bumping. Go share the love online. That's how we keep growing and helping more advisors be as happy as you all. So it's exciting.
Yeah, Altruist, I think they said that they're sending the first test data files today. And so usually after that, it's pretty fast. Our team just has to build all the internals, and Altruist, they have to build software on their side. So I don't know. Once they've decided to give us the thumbs up, they've been responsive and fast and good to work with. So I'm now an Altruist fan. There was a moment there where they wouldn't integrate, and
Cordy, you've asked the best question ever. We are getting a new lease because our office is full. And when a new office is open, we are going to invite you all to a conference here. It'll be a blast. So cannot wait. Just pending build out of the new building.
Brian, I don't know on that's a good having showing the accounts you manage in the form we can't do right now. Um, but I'll think about it. It's a cool idea. I don't know. You Yeah, we'll talk about it. We talk enough. Awesome. Well, thank you all. We're gonna close it out here. Appreciate it. Appreciate all the love and sharing and just using the tool. It's fun. Sometimes we show people we're running a business too, right? So there's some metrics we track that people follow. They say that the best measure of love of a product is like your DAU to MAU, your daily active user percentage. And whenever we show people our daily active user percentage, then they think that we're lying and have miscalculated it. And so we really appreciate you for being in the tool and using it every day. And we just want to make great software for you and help you run your business and get to know you all and meet you in person sometimes. And yeah, it's fun. So thank you all.
Holy cow, this was fun. We should do it again.
That was great.
Yeah,
Thanks,
that was awesome.
everybody.
Hoorah.
Thanks, everybody.
All right. We're gonna close it out. See ya.